But if we could start with automation. So could you give us a brief understanding of what we're talking about when we're talking about automation or process automation?
Yeah, okay, let me do it. And folks, if anybody's got any questions, we'll try and create an opportunity for you to ask those as well. Let's break work down to its lowest common denominator. What you've got are businesses who produce different services. Law firm, accounting firm, SME, doesn't really matter what type of business it is, but all of those firms are made up of people and processes. So there's someone has to press a button, someone has to move or create a piece of paper, someone has to send an email, someone has to do accounts receivable, or take, for example, in law, someone's doing a conveyance. And to set that conveyance up, obviously, a client phones in or turns up at an office, you open up a client file, and then you start a sequence of actions that move everywhere from doing pre-contract inquiries into doing the reading of deeds, to signing an ultimate contract, to completing, to sending out disbursements, to sending out a final bill, to answering whatever questions, to hand over keys. All of it's a process. The key bit here says at the moment, lots of companies, particularly SMEs, are manually doing all those processes. And by manual, I mean there's a great number of people involved in each of those instances. What we're talking about today and have been talking about for the last numbers of years is just because people can do those things doesn't necessarily mean they have to. So I don't think if there's any lawyers on today's call, they're going to say, I'm bored. I've nothing to do. They're usually doing extraordinary amounts of hours trying to keep up with this amount of work, keeping clients happy, sending out bills, engaging with other third parties or whatever else. Now there's a tremendous set of automation tools that sit in place that allow you to do all that work. And we're not talking about here, just let me be really clear up front, about putting robots in and putting things in that are going to get rid of people. You can do that. Automation allows you to be more efficient. But where I've seen this work really well, Matt, is you brilliant people, you give them amazing technology, and the technology looks at each of those processes, or you apply the technology to it. You find the tasks in the technology and the processes that you can apply automation to, and you do so to allow the lawyer, the accountant, or whatever else, whomever else it is, to spend their time doing the really rich and valuable stuff, or as a minimum getting home at night.